Hello. Today I'd like to talk about the Chaos pre-breathe. This is a system which will make sure the rebreather is functioning properly and ready for diving. Here you can see me getting into my equipment. I see a lot of people struggling to get into their equipment. Their harnesses are probably too tight, and also they insist on plugging the suit in first and then going in with the left arm. I really don't understand why, since all the busyness is on the right hand side, and it's pretty straightforward to plug the suit in afterwards. I like to run the computer cable through the shoulder strap and along the inside of my arm. That works pretty well without a wrap, but I do have long arms. And here you can see me trying to plug my suit in. Obviously I'm not going diving wearing street clothes. It's a really good idea to have a nice sequence for gearing up so that you do it the same way every time. Here you can see me sorting out my long hose and doing a flow check of the Lola valves and then of the oxygen cylinder. The first letter of the mnemonic Chaos is C, C for controller, and I start with a dill flush here. A dill flush is a good idea anytime you don't know what's in the loop, since it replaces the loop with a known gas, i.e. the diluent. And here you can see the PO2 rising up, and I put the loop in. In this case, the mouthpiece is open. Usually I'd have it closed. I really want to check what the PO2 is before I put that loop in my mouth. I turn the HUD on there, which is probably not necessary at this point since we're going to check that on the next stage, which is H. Once the PO2 is somewhat stabilized, I'm going to switch to 1.2. This is going to verify that the controller is working properly and injecting oxygen. Obviously, reaching 1.2 at the surface is impossible, so I just let it get to about 0.9 or so. Once the PO2 is 0.9, I'm going to switch back to low set point. Just a short note here, always make sure the controller set point is 0.7 when you switch on to the loop, not 0.19. And here we come to the next letter, H. H, I'm just going to verify that the HUD is reading the same as the controller. Then we can move on to A for ADV. I like to both vent from my nose to automatically trigger the ADV and manually trigger it by reaching back and blipping the diaphragm. Now we move on to O, O for oxygen. I'm going to manually add oxygen and check that the controller reacts accordingly. Then I'm going to flow check the oxygen and pressure check to make sure the oxygen is turned on, and I do in fact have gas. And then the last letter is S. S is for symptoms or stability. Basically, I'm going to spend the last few minutes of this 5 minutes pre-breathe thinking about the dive, visualizing the dive, remembering all the key points, and making sure I'm actually ready for diving. You can see here that I close my eyes, and of course, as soon as I close my eyes, what do I see? Is super cool diving. I think it's really nice to visualize some cool dives and just to make sure everything is set in your mind about what you're about to do. Do I have any underlying worries or concerns, and should I actually be doing this dive? We also use this time to check for CO2. I think it's probably unlikely that you will notice any CO2 problems with a failing scrubber, but it's certainly a good time to really go into like a Zen-like state and feel what's happening in your body and make sure you're absolutely comfortable and there's nothing going on. We're also going to check the controller is responding how we expect it to do so, and it's maintaining the set point at 0.7 exactly. So now is the perfect opportunity for you to consider liking, subscribing, and of course commenting.
A few moments later.
So then we come to the last few seconds of the pre-breathe, and now we're ready to go diving. I'm not sure what I was concentrating on there. Thank you very much. Smash that like button, yeah!